What's going on, Space Monkeys? Welcome to Political Fight Club. I'm your host, Robert Durden, and this is my political power rankings, the political commentator version. So I'm going to do 2 a week. As I explained in the previous video, I'm going to do 1 top 5 power rankings for political lefty politicians, and then for political commentators, top 5 for both. So I already did my top 5 for the politicians. These are they're commentators who I believe are following the rules of Fight Club the best, and their content is very, very good because of it. And so I'm rating them not only on their content, but also on I think they would be good in a debate because they happen to be in their style following the rules. And there are some people I want to exclude right off the bat because I just disagree with them so much, and I don't really consider them lefties. Lately, I have been really angry with David Dole, the Rational National. He has been running interference for AOC and the squad way too much. The same thing, but not nearly as much with the Humanist Report and Mike Figueredo. I'm not as angry with him, but certainly like the Sam Cedars of the world, the TYTs, Anna Kasparian, Cenk Uygur, everybody for TYT basically has been on my shit list for a while. So they're all more or less excluded. I still follow them on Twitter and very rarely will watch their videos if I have nothing else to watch. So don't expect any of those on here. And the top 2 or 3 are more or less going to be shifting all the time until somebody usurps them. So number 1, more than likely most weeks is going to be Kylekolinsky. He's the one who more or less got me into politics. I've been listening to him for over 6 years now, and I've never once wanted to unsubscribe because he follows the rules of Fight Club. He keeps everything on topic. He doesn't allow himself to be obfuscated, and unlike somebody like David Pakman, who I recommend not listening to, if you take him to Politicon, he actually will fight for things instead of just sitting around saying nothing. Like, I've never seen anyone say less at Politicon, I mean, barely anybody, than David Pakman, and yet Kulinski, who had around the same amount of subscribers the last 2 or 3 years as Pakman, they were neck and neck for the longest time, he went and decimated people, including Charlie Kirk at the most recent Politicon. So I would recommend following him on YouTube. He does secular talk. He's, I think, probably one of the best debaters, if not the best debater on the left, and he always keeps things on topic, and he doesn't do any frivolous content where it's like, you know, he's going after the Republicans unnecessarily, doing smear pieces or anything like that, whereas a lot of times you look at somebody like Farron Cousins or anybody on TYT and sometimes even Sam Cedar where it's like everything is about Trump now. Oh, enough. Trump isn't in office anymore, and even when he was in office, it wasn't worth wasting 90% of your tweets on him. So Kulinski diversifies. He does very well on that stuff. I think he's number 1 overall seed. Number 2 is Brianna Joy Gray and the Bad Faith podcast. And Bri is one of the best debaters because she's so good at framing things. She actually, oh goodness, who did she debate recently on the minimum wage? And it might have even been Noam Chomsky. She debated, and it wasn't on the minimum wage. She debated Noam Chomsky on like the squad's performance and what we should expect from them, and on what happened with Medicare for All. And in my opinion, she smoked him. And I love Noam Chomsky, but Bri is fantastic at framing things, and she's very militant in the way she goes after things, but again, she doesn't come off that way because she's so good at bringing things back to like a humane level. And I love her for that. It makes her very effective, but it doesn't make her, it makes her come off as not combative, just energetic. And that's wonderful. That's the best type of debater. And also she knows her stuff. Absolutely. So the Bad Faith podcast has to be number 2 in my power rankings. Bri is doing a great job. Keep up the good work. Number 3, and I almost put him number 2, but he's just a little bit too new to the scene, and he started exactly the same time I did. I have 34 subscribers. He's got 11,000 subscribers. Is Justin Jackson in the Takeover. Unbelievable content. He's got a future in politics when he's done running the ball for the Chargers. And what he does best is political analysis and calling out bullshit like I do. He even goes more in depth into bills than I do, and picks out nonsense jargon that they put into bills and little loopholes. And he's very good at breaking down bills in an analytical way and an objective way. And he's very good beyond that with strategy. I love him for that. And beyond anybody, even Kulinski, I think he's maybe the best political strategist. He knows how to use leverage in a way, and he understands the game. Like and he's unapologetic in the way that he talks about it. He's like, listen, you need to use leverage at every turn. He has been extremely vocal against the squad since they floundered the Medicare for All floor vote thing, and then the $15 minimum wage. Like me, he was telling them that they needed to withhold their vote from Nancy Pelosi for the Medicare for All floor vote thing, and he also wanted them to vote as a block to block the ARP unless they had $15 minimum wage included in that. So again, he's like me. He's a very, very savvy strategist, and he understands that this is a game of wits, and he goes in there with a plan. And I love the way he breaks down everything. So it's got to be Justin Jackson. He's a very new YouTube site or YouTube channel, just like me, but he's well worth a subscribe, and I don't see him going anywhere anytime soon. He'll probably only climb the rankings from here. Number 4 is Jimmy Dore. If you don't like it, get fucked. He does ad hominem a little bit, which I don't like, and I do see that he's a little bit mouthy, where a lot of times all he does is just like make fun of other political commentators and other bogus journalists that aren't doing their job. But the thing is, we need that person, and I do that a lot too. It's important we have that person. So, he does a little bit less of the news and more of like calling out bullshit in lefty commentary, but we absolutely need that person, and he does that very well. He'll kind of fluctuate up and down depending on his content, but I do enjoy Jimmy Dore, man, and he was absolutely right on the Medicare for All floor vote. He's been right about AOC and the squad. So, if you don't like it, then you're not an objective person, or you didn't really care about the progressive movement in the first place, because he's been right every step of the way about the squad. And if it weren't for him, we would not know that they are really not fighting for us. It's been him screaming at the top of his lungs that's brought all this to our attention. So he's got to be there. He's number 4. And number 5 is GoodPoliticGuy, and I'm going to give him a tie with The Vanguard. I've been only listening to The Vanguard for about a week now, maybe a little bit more than that, and they're 2 young gentlemen, younger than me, that do extremely good content. I highly recommend you follow them. They've only got something like 5,000 subscribers. And GoodPoliticGuy, also new to the scene. You might know him on Twitter as Mac, but he's a young guy like me. I've only been listening to him for it can't even be 2 weeks, something like that. But these guys have really impressed me. And the thing that they do well is they're extremely objective and vocal about what they believe, and they're lefty like me. They pretty much align, as far as I can tell, ideologically with me. But again, they don't hold back. There's nuance to all of their arguments, and they explain things very thoroughly in all of their episodes, but they don't hold back. They'll name names, and they have a specific point to every single one of their videos that is not wishy-washy. So I recently just kicked David Dole to the side and just said, I'm going to give my David Dole time to The Vanguard and GoodPoliticGuy, and I have not regretted it one iota since. My time is better suited for them. So they're youngsters. I expect great things from them. So that's my top 6 really. A tie at 5th is 1 is Kylekolinsky, 2 is Briar and the Bad Faith podcast, 3 is Justin Jackson and the Takeover, 4 is Jimmy Dore, and 5 is the Vanguard / GoodPoliticGuy. They're both youngsters doing a great job right now. So subscribe to all of these channels. That's where I'm getting a lot of my content right now, and I'll upgrade that as it goes along, man. If somebody does something I don't like, I'm going to call them out and bring them down in the rankings. Somebody does something good, I'll boost them in the power rankings. So keep fighting the good fight out there, guys. If you guys like this content, want me to do it weekly, subscribe, leave a comment, and I'll do them every week. I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.